जय जय सुधींद्र तीर्थ स्वामी महाराज की। सप्तगिरिवास गोविंदा, विश्व विजय विठला गोविंदा। हर नमः पार्वती पदे हर हर महादेव। ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम। गुरु ओम गुरु ओम गुरु ओम गुरु ओम। हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम। ओम गुरुभ्यो नमः। गं गणपतये नमः। ऐं सरस्वत्यै स्वाहा। श्री महालक्ष्मी नमः। तुम दुर्गाये नमः। नमो नारायणाय नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते रुद्राय। ओम नमः शिवाय। सर्वमंगलमांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते। हम हनुमते नमः। ओम श्री शरवण भवाय नमः। स्वामी शरणमय्यप्पा। श्री वेंकटेशाय नमः। श्री विठ्ठलाय नमः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। काशी विश्वनाथ की जय। जय जय गणपते विश्वंभर। जय जय गणपते विश्वंभर। जय जय गणपते विश्वंभर। जय जय गणपते। शरणागत जन परिपालक वो। शरणागत जन परिपालक। जय जय गणपते विश्वंभर। जय जय गणपते। विनायका मोरया गजानन। धूम्रकेतुवे भ्रातृषडानन। एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय विघ्ननिवारक गिरिजानन्दन। जय जय गणपते विश्वंभर। जय जय गणपते। पाशाङ्कुशधर मुदकहस्ता। शेषयज्ञोपवीत गभस्ता। मूषिकवाहन जय शिवनंदन। विश्वशांति स्थित दास केशवनुत। जय जय गणपते विश्वंभर। जय जय गणपते। ओम गं गणपतये नमः।
ओम गं गणपतये नमः।
ओम गं गणपतये नमः। ओम गं गणपतये नमः।
ओम गं गणपतये नमः।
ओम गणपतये नमः।
ओम गं गणपतये नमः।
ओम गं गणपतये नमः।
ओम गं गणपतये नमः।
बोल वर सिद्धि विनायक स्वामी की। देवी सरस्वती देवी सरस्वती देवी सरस्वती पाहि मां। देवी भारती देवी भारती देवी भारती रक्ष मां। वेद माता ज्योतिरूपिणी आदिशक्ति गायत्री। साधु पूजिते वेद सन्नुते नादरूपिणी सावित्री। Devi Saraswati, Devi Saraswati,
Devi Saraswati, Devi Saraswati,
Devi Saraswati, Pahi Mam.
Devi Saraswati, Pahi Mam.
Devi Bharati, Devi Bharati,
Devi Bharati, Devi Bharati,
Devi Bharati Raksha Mam.
Devi Bharati Rakshama.
Modadayine Khedaharini Badarayana Vandite Vedavati Janaki Shri Radhike Dasa Keshava Sannude. Devi Saraswati, Devi Saraswati,
Devi Saraswati, Devi Saraswati,
Devi Saraswati, Pahi Mam.
Devi Saraswati, Pahi Mam.
Devi Bharati, Devi Bharati,
Devi Bharati, Devi Bharati,
Devi Bharati Rakshama.
Devi Bharati Rakshama.
Bol Jagat Janani Sringeri Sharada Mata Ki.
Jai.
Sandhya Saraswati Gayatri Devi Ki.
Jai.
Sanatana Veda Dharma Ki.
Jai.
Anjaneya Varada Govinda.
Govinda.
Subramanya Swami Ki.
Jai.
Mahaganadhipati Ki.
Jai.
Adorations, salutations, we make our obeisance again and again to all the sages, Atri, Marichi, Pulaha, Angira, Angiras, Pulastya, Kritu, Bharadwaja, Brahmarishi Vasishtadi, Saptarishi Mandala, Narada, Sanat Kumaradi, brothers, and all the sages and saints of the Upanishad, of the Vedas, of the Puranas and Bharata Varsha, and sages and saints of all the world religions. The foremost and the most interesting subject to everybody is about their own self. There is a pure consciousness called prajna in the heart, in the mind of each and every individual. Every work, every thought, every word proceeds because of that pure consciousness. And that pure consciousness is infinite. It is full of knowledge, peace and bliss. It is eternal, it is truth. Therefore the Upanishad declares Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. That infinite truth is infinite knowledge and infinite bliss also. As Jnaneshwara says, Anantache Guna, Ananta Apara. In that the division is seen only due to upadhi or adjuncts like the body, like the mind, like the intellect, like the ego. These are called upadhis, veils, coatings, avaranam as we say. Because of these koshas, the sheaths, it looks like the infinite consciousness is bound in a body. That is why Swami Vivekananda declared God is a circle, circumference nowhere, center everywhere. Whereas soul is also a circle, circumference nowhere, but center somewhere. The only difference between God and soul is that this is center somewhere and God is center everywhere. The goal of all the souls to make this conditioned center unconditional by merging everything into the all-pervading principle that is Paramapurusha, Paramatma. The philosophy of Ishvara discusses that the Srishti, Sthiti, Laya, Vyapara, the creation, preservation and destruction, this portfolio is never given at any time to any Jivatma whatsoever. Purnamadaha Purnamidam. By the descending down of God in the form of Rama or Krishna or Buddha or Kalki. It is not going to diminish, that part is not diminished in Vaikuntha. It is always full, as this also is full, because this fullness has come from that fullness. Purnat Purnam Udachyate. Even after the cyclic rest, when this fullness is extracted from that fullness, Purnasya Purnamadaya, still the fullness alone fills the whole universe. Purnameva Vashishyate. To fill that full in our heart is to fulfill. If we do not, then we will be considered as fool or foolishness. That is why the goal of life is Ishvara Sakshatkara, Atma Sakshatkara, God realization or self-realization. Everyone comes with some talents. Some are child prodigies. From where has come that kind of power which can stay forever in a Vivekananda? From where hath come that kind of detachment, dispassion, devotion and knowledge as Paramahamsa Ramakrishna, the Sarvamata Samanvayacharya? How could Shankaracharya write 125,000 or 1,25,000 words regarding the Vedanta and go without any vehicle all over India and bring the Badrinath Murti from the Ganga, make the hot springs by supplication to the Almighty, and writing all these things, discussing and establishing the Sanatana Dharma, the Panchayatana Puja Paddhati, and thereafterward disappear in Kedara at the age of 32. From where hath Jesus Christ brought all that knowledge from the kingdom, even as a child? Some children are extremely musical by birth. Some are great painters by birth. Thus you can see some people are so dull-witted, even after learning 25 years of music, still they do not know Tala becomes Pathala, Raga becomes Pusharaga, Pada becomes Bhadrapada. What is the reason for this kind of difference from soul to soul, individual to individual? Because those are the Purvabhyasena, as the Bhagavad Gita teaches, the prenatal habit and the character that is built up in previous life. Whatever we have done before, that we are now. Whatever we are doing now, that alone we will become. What you think, that you become. And you get what you deserve. There is no one to blame. This entire thing is the plane of karma and dharma. And it is this karma, law of karma, that is infallible. Our body is built by the power of karma. 80% in is the birth, the growth, the job, happiness or unhappiness, separation or unity, sickness or healthy body. All this is due to karma. And therefore, to transform all this karma into dharma requires jnana, bhakti, vairagya. Who can give us that knowledge, that bhakti, other than God, who appears through a humble instrument and calls himself Guru, and that Guru Tattva of Dattatreya speaks through the pure individuals or chosen instruments of God. That is why Purandara Dasa discusses Guru Vina Gulaman Aguvatanaka Doreyadarna Mukti Sadashivat Doreyadarna Bhakti. ನಾಲ್ಕು ವೇದವನ್ ಓದಿದರೇನೋ, ಮೂರಾರು ಪುರಾಣ ಮಗುಚಿದರೇನೋ, ಶರೀರಕ್ಕೆ ಭಸ್ಮವ ಹಚ್ಚಿದರೇನೋ, ಮರುಳರಂತೆ ತಾ ತಿರುಗಿದರೇನೋ, ಗುರುವಿನ ಗುಲಾಮ ಆಗುವ ತನಕ ದೊರೆಯದಣ್ಣ ಭಕ್ತಿ, ದೊರೆಯದಣ್ಣ ಮುಕ್ತಿ. गुरु महाराज गुरु जय जय पर ब्रह्म सद्गुरु, गुरु महाराज गुरु जय जय पर ब्रह्म सद्गुरु, पर ब्रह्म सद्गुरु दयाला पर ब्रह्म सद्गुरु, पर ब्रह्म सद्गुरु दयाला पर ब्रह्म सद्गुरु, सद्गुरु सद्गुरु जय जय Parabrahma Sadguru. Sadguru, Sadguru, Jai Jai Parabrahma Sadguru. Jai Jai Parabrahma Sadguru. Jai Jai
Parabrahma Sadguru.
Om Sadguru Mantralaya Raghavendra Swami ki
Jai.
Ganadapura Sripada Vallabha ki
Jai.
Datta Guru Maharaj ki.
Jai.
When God comes as Guru, it is He who prepares the disciples with the mantram of Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us sit together, let us walk together, meditate together, realize together, talk together, grow together, realize together. Let us never hate each other, for God is love and peace that passeth all understanding. Thus in the Himalayan atmosphere, on the bank of the holy Ganges, the Upanishad Rishis, Mantra Drishtaras, were able to see the thought power or the mantra that is coming from the Lord, and teaching us that in this Pancha Bhautika Deha, the body that is built up with ether, air, fire, water and earth, with that sound, the touch, the form, the taste and the smell known as Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, that this individual soul is sitting in the midst of the lotus of the Sacred Heart. And within and without the soul, both inside and outside the soul, the all-pervading Ishvara is also sitting. Ishvara Sarva Bhutaram Hriddeshe Arjuna Tishtati. Even though they are sitting together, millions of souls have not yet seen the truth which is inside and outside the soul. Large number of souls have not yet spoken to the Lord. Hamsa Ninnalli Nee Nodu, Bhavapasha Muktanagi Hariyannu Kudu, as Purandara Dasa discusses. 21,600 times a day, in every humming, exhalation, every sa inhalation, the Hamsa mantra is going on in each and every one of us, 21,600 times a day. But that realization is not there. All the time, the worldly thoughts, desires, gross desire called the asha, which later becomes the most subtlest of all the desire called vasana, which is responsible for the birth of each and every individual. Until the vasana bija kshaya, until that seed is reduced to ashes by the power of the fire of knowledge, so long birth-death cycle is definite. That is why the immortal Sant Tukaram teaches in an abhanga, Vasane che bija jalo nidaya, Vasane che bija jalo nidaya, Santa Charana Raja, Santa Charana Raja, Santa Charana Raja, Lagata Sahaja, Sahaja, Vasane che bija, Vasane che bija, Vasane che bija, Zaloni Daya, Santa Charana Raja. Mag Ramanami upade avadi, Mag Ramanami upade avadi, Sukha ghado ghadi, Sukha ghado ghadi, Vadho lage, Charana Raja, Santa Charana Raja, Lagata Sahaja, Sahaja, Vasanich bija, Zaloni Daya, Vasanich bija, Zaloni Daya, Charana Raja. Kanti prema dahate, Naine niralote, Hey Panduranga, प्रेम दाटे नयन नीरलोटे हृदय प्रगटे प्रभु पांडुरंग तुका म्हणे साधन सुलभ गोमाटे 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 सुलभ गोमाटे सुलभ गोमाटे परि उपतिष्ठे पूर्व पुण्य परि उपतिष्ठे पूर्व पुण्य जय जय विठ्ठल पांडुरंग
जय जय विठ्ठल पांडुरंग
जय हरि विठ्ठल पांडुरंग
जय हरि विठ्ठल पांडुरंग
हरि जय जय हरि जय जय
हरि जय जय हरि जय जय
पांडुरंग हरि जय जय
पांडुरंग हरि जय
विठ्ठल
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 विठ्ठल विठ्ठल विठ्ठल विठ्ठल विठ्ठल विठ्ठल विठ्ठल विठ्ठल
पंढरीनाथ भगवान की
जय
The immortal saint of Maharashtra, Mother India, Sant Tukaram Maharaj, teaches in this Abhanga Kirtana that there are three ways through which the Vasana Kshaya or realization of moksha could take place in this body for a Jivan Mukta. One is through Brahma Jnana, seeing God within, without, above, below, everywhere, all the time, through which all the karmas are reduced to ashes, jnanagni, dagdha karmani, as the Bhagavad Gita teaches. Another is tatkurushva madarpana. Whatever we think, we speak, we eat, we pour as an oblation, all that yat karoshi, yadashnasi, yadjuhosi, dadasi yat, yat tapasyasi kaunteya tatkurushva madarpanam, or sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja, aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami mahashuchaha. As the 66th stanza of the 18th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, in that Mahavakya, the Lord discusses of giving up all scholastic disputation and flying unto his lotus feet with total surrender, where the moksha is guaranteed, absolving all karma and the sins to the surrendered souls. Either this kind of prapatti, sharanagati, parabhakti, or that brahmajnana of the Vedanta. When both these things are very difficult for people to appreciate, realize and understand, the easiest way is to hold on to the feet of sadhu satpurushas. Sangavagali, sadhu sangavagali, sangavagi, linga deha, bhangavagali. Therefore, santa charana raja लागता सहज वासने चे बीज जळोने जाय. Until the vasana seed is totally extinguished, burnt, reduced to ashes, so long vasana is there, there will be birth-death cycle also. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam will be there. This is why to attain life after death, the immortal status, which the Vedas declare, Tadvishno Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Surayaha Tadvipraso Vipanyavo Jagravan Sastanuvi Vishnoryat Paramam Padam. That is the transcendental abode of God, which yat prapya na nivartante tadhama paramam mama, as the Bhagavad Gita discusses. Where the sun shines not, soon sun, moon or stars shine not, there it is the shining principle which gives eternal rest to the individual soul, attaining which there is no return again to the birth-death cycle. In that status, life after death, to attain that immortal Vaikuntha, the moksha, with 5 divisions in it, as the Upanishad declares. One is called the Salokya Mukti, reaching the abode of God. That is also immortal state, where the Divya Sharira will be given to the individual soul, the Mukta Jiva, the free one. The second is called the Samipya Mukti, where one is feeling the very nearness to the Almighty Lord in singing the glory to the Almighty. The third is called Sarupya Mukti, where one attains exactly like God Four hands, the conch, the disc, the mace, the lotus, everything. Like you see in a Vishnu temple outside, Jaya Vijayas are standing who look exactly like Vishnu. So also in Shivaloka, every soul who has attained Shiva Sarupya will be attaining exactly the Rupa, the form of Shiva, but not the Shakti, the power of creation, preservation and destruction. And higher than that is Sarshti Mukti. In Sarshti Mukti, like Sanat Kumara given a power to take care of this planet Earth in Kali Yuga and the humanity. Special powers are vouchsafed by the Lord in Sarshti Mukti. Sayujya is like the drop, dropping itself, losing its individuality and becoming like ocean, where the individual is completely melted into universal by merging itself, identifying with the truth, becomes one with God. Brahmavid, Brahmaiva Bhavati. When such a state is attained, then such a person need not go through this birth-death cycle. For all other people who have karma and vasana, they have to come again and again, as Shankara Bhagavad Pada discusses, Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam, Punarapi Janani, Jatare Shayanam. Samsare Khaludustare, Samsare Khaludustare, Kripaya Pare, Pahi Murare, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Mudhamate, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Mudhamate. Kate Kanta, Kaste Putra, Samsaro Yamativa Vichitra, Kasyatvam Kah Kuta Ayata, Tatvam Chintayata Diha Prata, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Mudhamate. Satsangatve Nisangatvam, Nisangatve Nirmohatvam, Nirmohatve Nischalatatvam, Nischalatatve Jivan Mukti. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Mudhamate. Govindam Mama Jivanam, Govindam Mama Jivanam, Gopalam Mama Jivanam, Gopalam Mama Jivanam, Govindam Gopalam, Govinda Gopalam, Govinda Gopalam, Govinda Gopalam, Govinda Govinda, Govinda Govinda, Tirupati Vasa Govinda Govinda. After the self-enquiry of who am I, who is my wife, who are my children, who they were to me in last life, who they will be in next life, who will come with me at the time of death. Thus, Tattvam Chintaya Tadiha Bhrataha. Again and again, think about this. Alone you have come, alone you have to go. Like the birds that gather for some time upon a tree to partake some fruits and then fly away. Like that, the husband, wife, children, grandchildren, relatives, home, property, prosperity, name, fame, everything comes momentarily and goes. Kings have come, kings have gone. Everything is astiram jivitam loke, astira dhana yavvana, astira putra darascha, dharma kirti dvayam stiram. Everything else is impermanent. Dharma and the kirti, the fame alone, remain forever. If that is the goal of life, knowing that rest is ephemeral and impermanent, one who has developed the real vairagya, dhrada vairagya in his heart, he alone is entitled to attain the status of immortality. Some disciples came to a guru and said, what is the cause of this samsara bandhana? Why God has to put us in this bandhana and then we have to strive after realization? The guru never gave the answer. He said, let us go for a walk now. And as they were all walking, without talking anything, suddenly the guru rushed to a tree containing thorny tree. The guru ran towards the tree and embraced the tree with all his gusto, with all his strength. And it was bleeding, and the guru began calling everyone, "Oh disciples, oh friends, please come, release me, I am in trouble, I have greatest pain, I have bondage, I am in agony." Then all the disciples came running, laughing at the guru. Well, the tree has not bound you. You have run to the tree. You are embracing the tree and you are crying, "The tree is binding me." You are embracing the tree. If you give up the tree, then you are free. Guru smiled and said, that is the answer for your question. Samsara is not coming to you. You have embraced the samsara vriksha. And you go through this sukha dukkha constantly. It is with the dhrada vairagya, when you give up this mentally, that is when you are free this very moment. That is what Sri Purandaradasa also discusses. Vishaya vichara bidu vihita karmava madu. Vishaya vichara bidu vihita karmava madu. Vairagya bhagya vedu. ವಿಷವೆಂದು ಕಾಮ ಕ್ರೋಧಗಳ ನೀನೀಡ್ಯಾಡೋ. ವಿಷವೆಂದು ಕಾಮ ಕ್ರೋಧಗಳ ಈಡ್ಯಾಡೋ. ಮಸಣ ಮನವೇ ಮಾಧವನ ಕೊಂಡಾಡು. ಮಸಣ ಮನವೇ ವಿಷಯ ವಿಚಾರ ಬಿಡೋ. ಪುರಂದರ ಗುರು ಸಾರ್ವಭೌಮಕಿ. Day after day, making our desires lesser until it disappears. And to constantly to dwell in Paramartha Vichara. Again and again that Vichara should be there. Mudhamate, Shankara Bhagavat Pada calls. O dull-witted mind, develop this Paramartha Vichara again and again. Vishaya Vichara Bidu. Vihita Karmava Madu. Vairagya Bhagya Bedu. Pray to the Almighty the power of detachment. Then alone a man is able to extinguish all the karmas and the vasanas. Nirmohatve nischala tattva. Through satsanga he developed nissangatva, withdrawal from all the senses and the ego. Then he is able to dwell more and more in the light of truth. When the mind is not wavering, wandering and squandering its energy, and when the mind is lit with the light of wisdom, that is when it stays like a flame in a windless spot. When the mind stays like that in God, Manava Nillisuvude Yoga, then it has stood with the Nischala Tattva. That Nischala Tattva, when it attains, that is when all vasanas are reduced to ashes and the Jivan Mukti is attained, just like in a coconut kept for a long time. The inner coconut meat kernel detaches itself, that coconut ball, from the shell, and when you just shake it, you can feel how that kobari the coconut meat has separated itself from the shell. Now if you break the coconut, the inside coconut is not broken, only the shell is broken. Like that, through Vairagya, by constant Atma and Atma Vichara, through Satsanga, through Omkara Dhyana, one attains that most wonderful state while living in this body. Therefore, life after death for him will be just like when a ghata, a pot is there and the space is conditioned. When that pot is broken, the space inside becomes space everywhere. That is called ghatakasha becoming patakasha. The individual becoming universal. That is called sadyojata mukti in Srimad Bhagavatam. And to attain that mukti for ordinary souls, it is not possible with so many desires, mohaja, dukkha, constantly virahaja dukkha at the time of death. I have to leave my relatives, I have to leave all my property. What is going to happen to them? Where will I go? Jarayuja dukkha, that I will be reborn again. I do not know to which loka I am going. Thus for normal souls there will be total confusion. It is after the death the individual will be going through for a long time various kinds of dusswapna, just like the bad dreams in the astral body, he goes through the hellish experiences. Tamisra, Andhatamisra, Raurava, Maharaurava, Kumbhi Pakadi. So many descriptions are there in Shiva Purana, Devi Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, Ajamila Upakhyana discusses about the hellish experiences. Only to the karmathas, those who have not conquered or burnt the karma. But those who are constantly in satsanga, doing the paramartha vichara, remembering and repeating the holy name of God, for them, Yamadharmaraja has ordered to his dutas, to his messengers, Muttabeda, Muttabeda, Muraharana, Dasaran, Kattu Madida Yamanu Tanna Dutarige. The messengers of death have no jurisdiction to come to a Vaishnava or Shaiva or a Shakta or a Ganapatya, a Saura or Surya Bhakta. Bhakti of any kind described in the Vedas, the messengers of death have no access. That is what we hear from Savitri Upakhyana, how the thumb-sized soul leaving the body of Satyavan and going. What are all the things we take with us? Only 18 things. The 5 properties of the 5 elements or Pancha Mahabhutas: seeing through the eyes, hearing through the ears, smelling through the nose, tasting through the tongue, touching through the skin. This Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, Vyapara will not be there after the death that goes with the soul. Prana, Apana, Udana, Samana and Vyana, Pancha Pranas, waft the fragrance of the flower without plucking the petals thereof. Vayur, Gandha, Nivashayat. Thus Pancha Jnanendriya Vyapara, Pancha Karmendriya Vyapara, Pancha Prana, then Mana, Buddhi, Ahankara. Mind, intellect and the ego. With this 18, we go from this body. Rest is the burden of the body here. Therefore, Vedavyasa wrote everything that is 18. 18 Puranas, 18 days Mahabharata battle, 18 chapters to Bhagavad Gita. That 18 is the symbol of Sara, which we take essence with us. Rest is left here as Bhara, the burden of the body. And this body, therefore, is like Neeramelina Gulle, as Purandaradasa discusses, like the bubble in the water, which may break at any moment. Like that, even a person who is thinking that he is healthy could also, with one hiccup, one yawning, one falling down, or any little thing, may give up this body and go. When he goes, he will carry this Sukshma Sharira, Vasana Sharira along with him. This body has these adjuncts of Annamaya Kosha, the food sheath, Pranamaya Kosha, vital sheath, Manomaya Kosha, mental sheath, Vijnanamaya Kosha, known as gnosis or intellectual sheath, and then bliss sheath known as Anandamaya Kosha. In that, the Annamaya and the Pranamaya, the food and the vital sheaths, constitute Stula Sharira, the gross body. Manomaya and Vijnanamaya, they cause the subtle body, Linga Sharira or Sukshma Sharira. Anandamaya Kosha causes the Vasana Sharira. It is this Vasana Sharira which is absolutely difficult to get rid of. Even our Sukshma Sharira cannot be killed, cut, burnt or anything. The Sukshma Sharira will also disappear only when the Asha Pasha is cut off. Only when the desires are extinguished, then alone Linga Sharira also gets bhanga or destroyed. Vasana Sharira could only go either by the full knowledge of Brahman or by the total surrender of good and bad through Prapatti Marga as Ramanujacharya discusses, or Parabhakti as Madhvacharya holds and upholds, and Vallabha and Nimbarka speaking about that Charama Bhakti Parama Sharanagati to the Almighty Lord, or by the grace of the Guru. This is why the immortal Saint Tukaram, Sant Kabir discussed by the Seva to the Guru Deva, God coming in the form of Guru, one is able to go across. Therefore, Kabir had this rich experience. Guru Kripa Anjan Payo mere bhai, payo mere bhai, Rama bina kachu anan pai. Guru Kripa Anjan Payo mere bhai,
Kripa Anjan Payo mere bhai,
payo mere bhai,
payo mere bhai,
Ram bina kachu anan pai, Ram bina kachu anan pai. Guru Kripa Anjan, Guru Kripa Anjan, कहत कबीरा अनुभवने का, जहाँ देखे वहाँ राम सरीखा. गुरु कृपा अंजन पायो मेरे भाई, पायो मेरे भाई, राम बिना कछु आनन पाई. गुरु कृपा अंजन, जय जय राम, जय श्री राम,
जय जय राम, जय जय राम,
जय जय राम, जय जय राम,
जय जय राम, जय जय राम,
राम 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 राम
राम राम.
अयोध्यापति रामचंद्र भगवान की. By the grace of the Guru, one is capable of seeing God within, without, above, below, wakeful, dream, deep sleep state, inside, outside, everywhere. Until that wonderful grace comes, so long the birth-death cycle is inevitable. As we spoke earlier from the Bhagavad Gita, like the wind that wafts the fragrance of a flower without plucking the petals thereof, Vayur Gandha Nivashayat. Thus the soul takes away the good and the bad tendencies, latencies called samskaras along with it. In an ordinary, puzzled, confused person, as there is no thought of God at the time of death, so he cannot attain Vaikuntha, the transcendental, liberated state, or God's kingdom of heaven. Instead, he gets the Yatana Sharira. In that Yatana Sharira, he is going to the Narakas, the different kinds of hellish experiences, the dark worlds, with the bloodthirsty spirits and mocking spirits, etc. It is the astral loka, like in a bad dream, the nightmare, the pain that we go through, that kind of pain with the subtle body and the causal body, the soul will be undergoing. That is why the children here have to observe the yearly Shraddha, more than anything to go to Gaya Kshetra and thereby at Vishnu Pada, Phalguni Nadi Tira, one has to observe the Pindodaka Kriyaha. Then when the children are doing that, when the putra does that, the father is relieved, mother is relieved of Punnama Naraka. To avoid all this birthday cycle and the confused state in the life after death, at least one has to earn as much good as possible, so that for a long time he will be enjoying at least the higher lokas, even though it is not mukti. As Narsi Bhagat teaches in Gujarati Kirtanas, Punyakari Amarapuri Pamyam, Punyakari Amarapuri Pamyam, Ante Chaurasi Mahire, Bhutala Bhakti Padarata Modum, Bhutala Bhakti Padarata Modum, Brahma Lokama Nahire, Brahma Lokama Nahire. हरिना जन तो मुक्ति न मांगे, हरिना जन तो मुक्ति न मांगे, मांगे जन्म जन्म अवतार रे, नित सेवा नित कीर्तन वोच्छव निरखवानंद कुमार रे, उतल भक्ति पदार्थ मोडुम ब्रह्म लोक मा नाही रे, नाही रे. ये रसनो स्वाद शंकर जाने, ये जाने शुक योगी रे, योगी रे. कई एक जाने ब्रज नीर गोपी, भणे नर सैयो भोगी रे. राधे 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 श्याम,
राधे 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 श्याम,
गोविंद राधे श्याम,
गोविंद राधे श्याम,
गोविंद राधे राधे,
गोविंद राधे राधे,
गोपाल राधे राधे,
गोपाल राधे राधे,
राधे 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 श्याम,
राधे 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 श्याम,
गोविंद राधे श्याम,
गोविंद राधे श्याम,
गोपाल राधे श्याम,
गोपाल राधे श्याम.
राधे श्याम युगल किशोर की Punyakari Amarapuri Pamya. One reaches by doing the good deeds only up to Swargapuri, Amarapuri, and that is only a long stay of several kinds of enjoyments. It is Bhoga Bhumi. It is still not Mukti. Kshine, Punye, Martyaloke, Vishanti, as the Bhagavad Gita teaches. Exhaustion of all that good deeds, the Devas will knock you down again into the round of rebirth. That is why, without leaving any tinge of desire, one has to attain Nirmohatva Sthiti of detachment according to Vedanta while living in this body to attain the Jivan Mukta Sthiti. Even though a person doesn't understand all this Vedanta, like the iron chickpea, difficult to boil, if one sings the bhajana of Narayana, Bhakti Yukta Kirtana, night and day, such a person will also definitely attain Moksha Samrajya. This is guaranteed by Vadiraja Swami in a profound Kirtana. Hari bhajane maduni nirantara, Hari bhajane, Hari nadindina bhajane, Hari bhajane maduni nirantara, Hari bhajane mado nirantara, Hari bhajane mado nirantara, Hari bhajane. ಪರಗತಿಗಿದು ನಿರ್ಧಾರ ನೋಡೋ, ಪರಗತಿಗಿದು ನಿರ್ಧಾರ ನೋಡೋ, ಪರಗತಿಗಿದು ನಿರ್ಧಾರ ನೋಡೋ, ಭಜನೆ ಮಾಡೋ ನಿರಂತರ, ಹರಿ ಭಜನೆ ಮಾಡೋ ನಿರಂತರ, ಹರಿ ಭಜನೆ ಮಾಡೋ ನಿರಂತರ. ಮೊದಲು ತೋರುತ್ತಿದೆ ಮಧುರ ವಿಷಯ ಸುಖ ಕೊನೆಯಲಿ ದುಃಖ ಅನೇಕ ಭಜನೆ ಮಾಡು
ನಿರಂತರ
ಹರಿ ಭಜನೆ ಮಾಡು
ನಿರಂತರ
ಸಾರವು ಬಹು ಸಂಸಾರ ವಿಮೋಚಕ
ವಿಮೋಚಕ
ಸಾರವು ಬಹು ಸಂಸಾರ ವಿಮೋಚಕ ಸೇರೋ ಶ್ರೀ ಹಯವದನ ಭಜನೆ ಮಾಡು ನಿರಂತರ ಹರಿ ಭಜನೆ ಮಾಡು ನಿರಂತರ ವಿಠಲ 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 पंढरीनाथ महाराज की Udupi Vadiraja Swami of Sode Matha discusses in this Kirtana Paragatige Idu Nirdhara Nodo. He gives the assurance that the bhajana, Bhakti Yukta Bhavana definitely leads to Mukti, Nirdhara, guaranteed. There is no question about it that a true Bhakta will attain Mukta Sthiti. That is assured by Lord Himself, that a Sharanagata will attain moksha without any delay. Otherwise, the life after death will be very painful. Even in Narakayatana or in Swarga Sukha. Narakayatana is like iron chain, Swarga Sukha is like gold chain. Both are chains, both are bandages. For a parrot, you give an iron cage or a golden cage. Both are bandhana. It will be crying. So is our soul. Therefore, the goal of life is to go beyond good and bad. Nirdvandva nitya sattvasto niryoga kshema atmavan. To go beyond the pain and the pleasure, gain and loss, night and day, in the midst of all pairs of opposites called the Dvandva, from good and bad one, when one has transcended, then alone he is eligible for immortality. Sama sukha dukha, sama dukkha sukham dhiram, somritatvaya kalpate. One who treats the happiness and misery alike, he is eligible for that immortality. A pure soul like Nachiketa, going directly to Yamadharma, he has not gone with the sins or any karma. Therefore, Yamadharma Raja honors him for delaying, making him wait 3 days and 3 nights. Yamadharma Raja wanted to please him and therefore gives him 3 boons. By the first vara, the gift, he is asking, let my parents be healthy, peaceful and sleep peacefully. He prays for the peace of the parents by the first boon. By the second, he wanted to know the secret of mystic fire, Agni, through which the souls reach the Swargadi Lokas. Therefore, Yamadharma Raja teaches that secretly and calls the Agni Nachiketa Agni. The last question he asks is about what survives the death of the body. What is its nature? Where it goes? As you are the ender of everyone, I will get the first-hand experience from you. Therefore, please teach me the Atma Jnana, the Vedanta. Yamadharma Raja says, ask of me thousands of dancing girls to dance for you. Ask of me millions of acres of land, of cows, of wealth, whatever you want shall be given to you. Nachiketa smiles and says, Na vittena tarpaneyo manushya. With any amount of wealth and prosperity, man's soul cannot be happy. All those girls and all that wealth and all that prosperity and property, O Yamadharma Raja, you keep it for yourself. Because even after 1,000 years you are going to end all these things. I want the endless, timeless wisdom. Please bless me with that. That is when Yamadharma Raja, knowing that he is the deserving disciple, Because other disciples would have definitely said, okay, give me ₹1,000,000, I'll be happy. Or give me to live for 250 years. Anyone would have been tempted. But Nachiketa was not tempted with anything other than Brahmajnana, Atmajnana. That is when Yamadharmaraja teaches him the Vedanta, that there are two ways called the Shreya and the Preya. In the beginning, all children, as they grow, would like only the Shreya. But later they get involved with the marriage, the children, the attachment, Vyamoha and everything. And from Shreya, unnecessarily, due to past karma or something, they fall into Preya. And then from every corner, only the pain comes to them due to this Vyamoha, attachment. But those who are aspiring after Shreya, they know that Om is the best boat to go across the ocean of transmigratory existence. Atmanam rathikam vidhi. This Atman, the self, he is the lord of the chariot. Body is just like a chariot. Senses are the restless horses. The Vishayas, the object of senses, are the roads. Our mind is the reins. Intellect, the egotistic intellect, is the Sarathi, the charioteer. If the Sarathi is drunk and he drives, then everyone will collapse. Therefore, the Sarathi, the Buddhi, is to be turned within through dhyana or meditation. When the buddhi is introvert, then sukham atyantikam yattat buddhigrahyam atindriyam. To the introverted intellect, the intuitional light of the Atman illumines instantaneously. Outgoing intellect is the seat of the ahankara and mamakara. It is only nirmamo nirahankaraha sashanti badhigacchati. While living, to give up me and mine alone leads to peace. If one couldn't attain that throughout lifetime, as he struggles for it, at least at the time of death, that Brahmi sthiti of wisdom will come to him, and thinking only of the Lord, antakale chamamev swaran muktva kalevaram yah prayati damadbhavam yati nastyatra samjayam. By remembering God at the hour of death, he will see the Saptarshi Mandala, Veda Ghosha, and attains the Supreme. Asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityo varma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Vishwa Vijay Vithala Govinda.